This week I wanted to do a little bit of a more detailed update since I haven't done one in a while. We've had Frosty for almost 6 months, and in that time we've really seen a lot of awesome progress. And when we first got him, he was very anxious and seemed terrified a lot, honestly. It took him quite some time to adjust. We had several incidents within the first week of him being aggressive towards me and my boyfriend. And so we've really seen a ton of progress, and that he doesn't seem constantly anxious anymore. He, doesn't get easily aggressive at us. The only times that has happened recently have been when we have been touching his paws in ways that he didn't like. And even that has honestly gotten so much better than it was at the beginning. So we have seen a lot of progress, and it's really great to look back and notice that. It's also been difficult because as we've seen progress, it's becoming a lot harder to forgive and be patient with his bad behaviors. So for example, barking, every day when the mailman comes by, he absolutely loses it. And at the beginning that was a little bit easier to forgive because he just seemed very anxious. When he was in a new place, he didn't understand, why someone was on our front porch. Now after 6 months, seeing him, be very comfortable and hear the noise, and you can kind of recognize that he recognizes that it's the mailman, and he just jumps up and barks kind of out of habit, right? So that is a lot more frustrating, and for me it's a lot more difficult to be patient with him when I can tell that he's barking not out of fear, but just out of, oh, the mailman's here, it's time for me to bark. So that's been tough, and as you can see in this video, he's incredibly smart and obedient when we're doing training sessions, when he's very food motivated. So if I have a treat in my hand and we're working on things that he understands, he's very, very obedient, very responsive. He stays very tuned in. You can see he's keeping his eyes perfectly on me. He's responding. In this video, it's actually just a hand signal, so I'm not even saying anything. He's letting me, mess with his paws. And so seeing how well he can do, it's very frustrating that adding just something like, a noise on the front porch makes all of this go away, and all of a sudden he's, just unmanageable running around the house, losing it. So it may just be that I need to be doing a lot more training with adding distractions in during training, perhaps training in the front yard. So I'm going to try to work on that the next few weeks. But yeah, it has been starting to get frustrating, just kind of dealing with the same problems over and over for 6 months and not really seeing a lot of progress, even though we can see that he's much more comfortable. The last thing is that we have taken him off the Prozac, and that seems pretty much okay. The only way that it negatively affects him is that we can tell he is definitely more aggressive in really high stress situations. So I think the Prozac was helping take the edge off of that. But we are going to try to maybe adjust that with a medication that we can just give him only on those certain days instead of having to give him medication around the clock. So yeah, it's just kind of a lot to think about right now. Things are going well, but it's definitely wearing us down a little bit, and I hope that things will get better over the next few months.